Hello and welcome to Grind Slime TV with me, your host Aaron. And today we're heading over to the Netherlands. Oh yes, Holland to be exact, if I remember rightly. Sounds about right. I'm usually right about these things. Regular watchers will know that. That ain't true. But today we are talking about the amazing sophomore album from these brutal death metalers, Severe Torture, Misanthropic Carnage. Have a look at that artwork. It looks like a bit of a blur on this screen, but got a young person there. A little monster man there with his big old cleavery clue. Bunch of heads, look. Ooh, I sneezed. On the back there they are. All their tunes. Looking very handsome. Handsome young men. Got it on the CD again there, look. Bit more of the old splattery splooze blah. Don't know if you can make this out on camera, but on that, yeah, you can sort of see there's like some severed heads there and shit going on. Gotta love all that. Now, I first came across this album, it was when it came out back in 2002. I saw it in the shop and I thought, oh, that looks like a bit of me. But I didn't have the money at the time. And I remember when I did, I went back and it was gone. And then maybe 3 or 4 years later, I was in a Virgin Megastores or something, saw it and was like, oh shit, that's that record I wanted. So I snagged it. Oh yeah. Of course, back then, you couldn't just stream the music until you got it. Like, oh, I couldn't get the physical copy, but that's okay. I just listened to it till I get it. No, no, no. You had to remember shit back then, and you had to guess. Like, I was going by the artwork and going, yeah, that looks like something I could enjoy, and it bloody well is. Not the most technical album in the world, nor is it trying to be. And a lot of people say this album's like quite boring, and I can see where they're coming from. There is a lot of repetition going on in the songs. You know, it's like maybe 6 or 7 different riffs per song, perhaps. You know, if that sometimes. But I like it, man. I like that kind of every now and then just to throw something on. It's like, you know what? It's some simple, sort of easy listening death metal. It's not trying to be anything overly fancy. You know, this is sort of like, oh, I don't even know really. Like, you can tell they're fans of old school Cannibal Corpse and probably, you know, contemporary too. I don't see why not. But given the time this came out, like, you know, so they've got those sort of scooped mids, that nice sort of almost wooden sounding kind of snare going on. Really, really cool. Like Zeph's drumming's Zeph Vandiloo. Yeah, his drums really stand out on this record. Really, and so does the bass by Patrick Boliage, one of my favourite bass players. Some great shit on here. I remember when I first put this on with the opening track, Misanthropic Carnage. Ooh, and just straight away that sort of I was like, oh, this sounds like a troublemaker. It sounds mischievous. I like it. And then he just got the bass coming in with just that bam, 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 bam. It's just phantasmagorical. The vocals are really cool as well. They're gutturals, but not so much from like deep down in the stomach. They've got a sort of a throaty kind of sort of thing going on, you know, which is really, really cool. I like hearing that sometimes. So it almost sounds like he's trying to do sort of like that era Glenn Benton, those really low as he does. It kind of sounds like he's trying to do that, but at the same time trying to do it differently. If that I know that probably doesn't make sense, but yeah. But the highs are really cool. The highs sound to me like early Chris Barnes kind of highs. They don't come up very often, but when they do, they sit really nicely. You've got plenty of your tremolo riffs and stuff and everything that you would expect, and some nice palm muted bits going on. Got your lyrics in here. It's all pretty much, it's all gore related, but most of the songs, save maybe one or two, it's very anti-religious as well, but not so much anti-religion. I mean, there is that obviously, but it seems more like anti-Christian, but like actual Christian people, like on a personal level. Like there's a lot of sort of, you know, like Christian genocide kind of themed lyrics, you know, collecting bodies for a mass grave, or you know, removing the genitals, and you know, because they're blinded by faith, and he's blinded by slaughter, you know, and it just talks very much, you know, that sort of mindset. Like, I'm not going to fall for your game, and if you try to, I'm going to like bum you with a knife and fucking who knows what else, you know. So creative in that kind of sense, though nothing unheard of before. But like I said, it's not trying to be anything new. This is very, very. At the same time, you hear it, it's like that's severe torture, like immediately. Like if you like bands like Prostitute Disfigurement, who you know, their fellow countrymen, or maybe like I said, that early Cannibal Corpse sort of stuff. That it doesn't sound like an early Cannibal Corpse, but you can tell it's an influence. And oh man, what other kind of bands will I throw in with this actually? Deeds of Flesh, maybe some of their stuff. Deeds of Flesh are obviously a lot more instrumentally inclined to be, you know, a bit more technical and whatnot. But I reckon you could, you know, there's no reason. I love Deeds of Flesh and I love this record. You know, this is the only record by Severe Torture I own at the moment. The other ones, they're easy enough to get hold of, but I only really like this one and Feasting on Blood. Actually, no, sorry, I have got another Severe Torture record. I've got a promo disc, but I can't remember what it's called, which probably says a lot. It's got like the skull on the front. I just listen to it, I just get a bit bored. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh. But this and Feasting on Blood is absolutely fantastic. Feasting on Blood's available to get pretty easy, but in England, whenever I look for it, it's always got like big postage on it. So it's one of those keep checking eBay and Discogs jobs, you know. It's like, well, I'll get it eventually, you bastards. And it's one, and I've never owned it either. Like it wasn't one of the ones that got sold off years ago. But oh no, this is you've got weird shit on the back there. Look, you know, cheers, thank you. I wrote this, I did that. Good for you, mate. Fucking handing out biscuits all over the place. But if you also remember bands who are also from the Netherlands, if I remember rightly, they're fucking, they Infernal Torment. Completely mind fart, completely just like, but yeah, really, really cool, catchy death metal. It's the gutturals actually pronounce the words too, so you got that going on. Guitar parts are really fun. Drumming is just all over the place. I love it. Really manic, nice and fast, but slow when it needs to be, which isn't that often. There's a lot of mid-play stuff going on, but for the most part, you've got lots of nice, like, you know, those sort of thrash beats and blast beats and stuff like that. Really, really cool. The production on it is nice and raw, really good like that. You know, it's still, it sounds like it's. I don't know anything about the studio where they did it. You know, at Frankie's Recording Kitchen. So during the spring of 2002. Oh, so it might have been 2003 this came out then, maybe. I don't know. It's usually the following year from the recording. Because it came out late 2002. I think it's 2002 it came out. But it sounds almost. I don't know anything about the studio, but it sounds, from the sounds of it, it sounds like an analog studio. Could be wrong. But really fun release. If you're not familiar with these guys, I definitely recommend checking them out. This album's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. And from actually, I don't know how easy this is to get hold of because I've never had to look for it for very long, you know. But nice little digipack going on there. I don't know if there are newer ones are in digipack or not, or if there are newer ones, I don't know. But it's out there, and if you're into your digital downloads and whatnot, then wow, you're on easy street. You're laughing. You can listen to this bad boy for free. But if you're like me, keep the hunt out and yeah, Misanthropic Carnage by Severe Torture, modern day classic, definitely earned a place on everyone's shelf, I think, within the underground. I mean, if you're not into them, I get it. You can't be into everything, but if you like your meat and ham, fucking, I don't even know what that means, kind of riffs and drumming and just straight up death metal, on leaning more to the brutal side, then yeah, this is good fun. Make it happen. That's it from me today. Support the underground.